Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, give it back when we done. Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, give it back when we done. I'll give it back when we done. 10,000 hands in the air, have you ever seen? Work 9 to 5 or 5 to 9, do you ever dream? They in the red, but my stalk is green. Crowd like I reached the clouds, all off a beam. Dreams on lucid, films on Lucas, sound on surround, and the crowd on stupid. Who that chick Dion? That's Dion on Clueless. You circling around the money, sitting in a cubic car. Feel the dreams, they said I'm too corny. Funny, I got their ears all on me, fears all gone, and my peers all wrong. So keep your 2 cents in every phrase y'all coining. That's just common sense, all the hating, I honored it. I don't leap, I quantum it. I don't answer, I problem it. I just drop shit while they asking what a colonic is. Pinky, you know what I'm pondering? Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, give it back when we done. Not everybody lives, but everybody dies. So while a nigga here, I'm shooting for the sky, landing on the moon, walking on the sun, taking over the game, give it back when we done. I'll give it back when we done.
What's up, CFO gang? It's your boy Jay Tuck. Real Cowboys fans, stand up and salute to everybody out there. I see my dog Keystone in the building. What's going on with you, big bro? 5 points of the star. What's going on with your dogs? Let's talk yo ish, man. Always. It's the only way. A Wadrina, what's going on with you? And T Jackson in the building. Salute to everybody in the chat. We're going a little bit early today. Normally I kind of go at 5. Sometimes I go at 6 or 7. But I'm going to the movies tonight. I'm going to see F1. I got that movie pass, y'all, and I've been at the movies nonstop. So I'm getting ready to pill out here around 6 o'clock and go see the premiere F1 for all my Brad Pitt fans out there. I heard it's a good movie. Now, I haven't really watch Formula One racing, but a lot of my friends are telling me I need to get into it. And more than likely, probably when I'm done watching this movie, I'll probably have an interest in Formula One. But wanted to talk about a few things here just quickly, man, as we gear up tomorrow night. Me and my brothers, my Cover 3 brothers, will be going live, I think at 7 Central. So we'll have a lot to discuss tomorrow night. Mike got a banger guest as well. And then, we're going to rock out this week. And the next week, I'm going on vacation. And I am going to chill a little bit as me and the wife go out the country. So I wanted to dive in today and just talk about a few topics. And what I really want to address today is there's a few players, right? And this is no particular order that I think is going to be extremely important that they take a leap this year. Because the Dallas Cowboys in this fandom is going to be depending on them heavily. So I want to talk about that few players, no particular order. Get in and get out like a robbery. I ain't going to have the phone lines on today. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, since my dog Angry in the building, man, I ain't gonna have the phone lines on today. I see there was jokes. I saw the jokes. People like, man, Tuck ain't gonna turn on the phone lines again, ever again. You know what I'm saying? But I'll say this because a lot of people has been talking about it, and I didn't expect that conversation to be as viral as people are making it seem. You know what I'm saying? It was just a simple phone conversation, right? So I'll say this. I don't know the gentleman who called in. I believe his name is JB. I apologize if that's wrong. I've never seen his content or anything like that, so I'm very unfamiliar. I had no idea he was even a content creator until he called in and you guys all told me that, right? But I'll say this, right? And this is no knock to JB. I'm sure he's a great dude. You know what I'm saying? So I never met him, never watched the video, anything. I don't even know what the man looks like, right? So I'm sure he's a good dude, just a difference of opinions. But I'll say this because a lot of people were asking me about it, right? I feel like when it comes to content creation, right? You know, it's very trendy, especially in the Cowboys space now. Let's keep it a buck. It's very trendy because a lot of people have have accomplished a lot of great things, right? From seeing Vach on the draft show, and you see Aisha doing all the amazing things that she's doing, and you see Law, larger than life figure, and then you kind of see me at the Super Bowl doing some of the things that I'm doing, right? It entices people to want to be a part and to try it. And I always encourage people to try it. You know what I'm saying? If it's you, right? It doesn't fit everybody, but if it's you, try it, right? You really have nothing to lose, everything to gain, right? But what I'll say is this: what people coming into the space have to learn is that you have to earn your voice. And what do I mean by that, right? So a lot of you might not remember, when I came into this game back in 2020 during the pandemic, I wasn't the in-depth contextual football analyst guy, right? I was just a Cowboys fan that just turned on my camera and kind of just talked my Cowboys shit, right? Really no rhyme or reason, but kind of came on just talking my Cowboys stuff. I remember doing shows and we had Garrett Gilbert as our quarterback and me still saying, Cowboys still gonna win, and Andy Dalton's our quarterback, and Cowboys still gonna win. So I was very fanboyish when it came to my content, right? And I remember this day, clear as day. It's a day I'll never forget. It was a Saturday, and salute to my guy Sid, who was doing content at the time from Canada, and there was Philly Notion, who was an Eagles content creator that was doing shows and content I collaborated with a lot, right? And it was a Saturday. I was getting ready to watch Florida State, but they didn't play for like another hour. So Philly Notion and Sid called me like, yo, Tuck, can you jump on a live stream? So I was like, yeah, sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing anything. It's just Saturday. Let me jump on the live. And then when I jumped on the live, I noticed Philly Notion had another guy who I never seen before, a white guy with the beard. I was like, who the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to be us three, right? And so it was my guy, Gate. Gate City does a great job, great content creator, right? So the whole conversation at the time was Dak versus Wentz, right? And of course, me just on a Saturday, on a whim, freestyling, Dak this, Wentz sucks, when Dak gets back, you know what I'm saying? Just a typical, right? And what I noticed was Gate had a stack of papers, he had notebooks, he had films, and he was extremely surgical in his response. So he was asking me questions like, tell me, what is your offensive philosophy for the Dallas Cowboys? I didn't know what Kellen's offensive philosophy was. I had no clue at the time, right? He was talking about EPA and, peer progression reads versus full progression reads, and the hitch count, and Shane Steichen at the time that was in Philadelphia. Like, he was hitting me from every angle, pause if you will, when it came to facts and analytics and film. And the only thing I could do as a content creator was just yell, scream, Eagles suck, Eagles trash, and try to get the hell up out of there, right? So ultimately, that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got one Super Bowl, this and that. You know what I'm saying? It was very fanboyish content because I needed to get the hell up out of there because I felt like, was this a setup? Because Sid wasn't helping. Philly Notion was quiet. And they had brought me into a lion's den with someone who had all these facts and who was studied and researched up. I was getting my ass kicked. And when I got off that show, luckily, I said, Tuck, that will never, ever, 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 ever happen again. You know what I'm saying? Because you got cooked. Just a good thing you wasn't a big enough name where nobody even gave a damn. Because if that happened today, it would be bad, right? I would be viral getting smoked like that, right? So I learned, okay, now it's time to really focus on my craft. Now it's time to really study. Now it's time to really, find out what certain analytics mean. Now it's time to really dive back into the film room, Tuck, and get back into the lab. Now it's time to get your football IQ up and really understand the nuances of what's going on the NFL level, right? Now it's really time to work. So what do I mean when I say that, right? I feel like a lot of people confuse being a Dallas Cowboys fan with being a Dallas Cowboys content creator, right? And there's a fine line when it comes to it, right? You could be a Dallas Cowboys fan for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, however long you've been a Dallas Cowboys fan, right? But that does not equate the time, the effort, the research, being in front of a camera, learning how to speak, learning how to look down the chute, knowing how to pronunciate, knowing how to articulate, knowing how to do all of these things that only comes with repetition. It's not easy, right? It's not easy. So I think a lot of people see it, like, oh, I'm a Cowboys fan. I'll just turn on my camera and start talking Dallas Cowboys football, right? And that will work in some capacity, right? Like even because I heard that the JB guy, like he does a lot of like Dak hate content. He doesn't know. Thank you. That was my idea. I literally posted on Twitter like years ago, like if I was a content creator and I was trying to boom, I would start the ultimate Dak hating channel and just fuel that market, right? Because it's an empty market and you would boom. You see what I'm saying? But they don't understand there's a lot of work that goes into what you see, how witty and quick that Vach Lombardi is, right? How witty and smart and intelligent that Skywalker Steele is, how researched Boss Cowboy is, and how researched I am and Lou Takes, and the list goes on, because some of us have been doing this for so long. So it's not easy for a random who's just getting in the game to say, oh, Jay Tuck is the big dog. I want my moment off of him to jump off the porch and come with the big dogs. You're just not ready. And even me as an up and coming content creator, I wasn't able and wasn't ready to have a spur of words with Vach or a spur of words with Okoye, right? Or with Sky or with Patrick No-C Walker or Brian Broaddus. Like I wasn't fundamentally ready to even have those conversations, and specifically not on cam, right? What people have to understand, I get it. It's exciting. I mean, people make a few extra bucks here and there, right? You might get a little name, get a little buzz, get a little super chats, right? But you have to earn your voice. And I think that there's a lot of people who feel like they're at the table yet and they haven't earned their voice. There has been times I've sacrificed financially and from investment, time, research, everything, right? So if you're going to come specifically on my channel and try to spar with me when it comes to Dallas Cowboys football and content, you better check every box. You better cross every T and dotted every single I. Even if it's an L, like my sis Aisha, you can't tell if it's an L or an I, you better dot that shit anyways, just to be in case, because there are certain people in this community that's extremely surgical. And I feel like what happens with a lot of us is we get coined as the know-it-alls or but they don't understand we just earned our voice. 4 or 5 years ago, I couldn't argue with Vach or Foots or Brian Broaddus about anything draft related, right? Because it was just like, who are you? I haven't earned my voice. But through hard work, dedication, sacrifice, investing in my own knowledge, now when it comes to draft talk, not only does the Cowboys community know, but the NFL community know, all right, Jay Tuck is one of those ones. I had to earn that, right? So now if, let's say, Vach is talking about a player, all right, I can say, I understand Vach is my brother. I love him. That's my dog. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't feeling that. I'm over here. I don't see that in that player, and it's respected because I've earned that right. I've earned that voice. A lot of people coming into this community, in this game, you want it too quick, and you haven't worked hard enough to earn it first, right? Once you earn it, it'll happen. It'll naturally happen, right? People know draft time, it's time to come see the wizard. I had to earn that right? So Just kind of putting that out there, right? So no knock to JB or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Salute to him, wish him best of luck, right? But I just feel like don't get too excited. As they say, don't get ahead of your skis, bro, because there's people who do this in their sleep. You know what I'm saying? As soon as we got Perrion Winfrey, I just had all my receipts pulled up just like that. You see what I'm saying? Because it's just the mentality that we've had, because we have these wars inside our own community. I had to battle with Boss, right? I had to battle with Okoye, with Mozzie versus Jalen Carter. Like I've had battles with real killers. You know what I'm saying? The little Dak faked the injury stuff, or he like that shit's not gonna work over here. You know what I'm saying? That is not gonna fly over here. When you battling versus Sky and No C and Okoye and Boss and DMV and Lou and, you know what I'm saying, OC and, you know, Rome and, like, you know what I'm saying, like Foots and Vach and Broadus and Clarence Hill. Like, when you're going against the big dogs, bro, the little moves you might think is slow motion, and I'm just going to swat the ball out your hand and go up the court and dunk. You see what I'm saying? So just one of those things I want to toss the nugget. No, this is not any slight to like JB. Like I said, I'm not even familiar with who that is. But best of luck. But I just think that's something that all content creators, up and coming content creators, really need to understand. You're in the game, but you're not in the game, right? You're Phil Maffa. You know what I'm saying? You Phil Maffa, yeah, you in the game, but you not in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not in the game yet. There's a lot of work to do before you earn your star. And it goes the same thing with being a content creator. You got to earn your voice. And it's not easy. There's a lot of sacrifice. There's a lot of work that I had to do. I mean, I'm in year what, 5? Year 6? I think year 6, year 5, right? I am just now earning the respect I deserve. You see what I'm saying? Like, I am just now, year 5, year 6, just now earning the respect of Cowboys fans, where now I'm a trusted voice in the community. And think about what I had to go through. I had to go through 2 Super Bowls, draft, combine, partnering with Dez Bryant, hitting up on multiple draft picks, breaking down undrafted guys, and doing all the things I had to do just to earn a voice. You know what I'm saying? Just starting a channel and talking, you gotta work. You got work to do, man. My dog Keystone says, yes, because I'm up and coming, Tuck. Yeah, facts, bro. And you will earn it. You know what I'm saying? You will earn it. You will earn it. Yes, 6 years of the sleeper files. You know what I'm saying? So think about this, Keystone. How many of those sleeper files you had to post before someone finally recognized your sleeper files? You see what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand. Like, I remember getting those years ago. You see what I'm saying? But nobody was paying attention. I had the infamous tweet of drafting Dak Prescott back in 2016. Nobody cared, right? When I dropped the Cowboys to draft CeeDee Lamb video, nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? So look how many things that I had to do just to earn that respect. Respect is earned. It's not given. It comes from hard work. It comes from building credibility, right? And building something that's consistent. Because if you build a Dak hating channel, yeah, you're going to be hot for 2 years, maybe the next 3 years. Then what you going to do when Dak is gone? You know what I'm saying? What you going to do when Dak gone, right? How are you going to be able to thrive, you know? And I get it. I understand it. You find something, it works, so you want to stick with it. And this is why, me personally, and we'll get to the film and we'll get to everything else, right? But this is why I constantly change up on you guys, right? There might be a stretch of months where I'm dropping all film sessions, right? And there might be a stretch of weeks where I don't do no film. It's all live shows like we're doing now, right? And it might be a stretch where I'm not doing live shows. It might just be uploads, right? Uploaded videos. So because I never wanted to be stagnant. I never wanted you guys to be like, Tuck is just the draft guy, right? Or Tuck is just the film guy. or Tuck's just a live show guy, or Tuck is just a editor. Like no. So I keep you guys always on the go. You know what I'm saying? I haven't dropped a film session in almost over a month, right? So then I might mess around next week and just start dropping bangers again because I was bored. You see what I'm saying? So it's being able to work on all of your skill sets because you're not boxed into being a one-trick pony. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to switch to Micah. Yeah, yeah, probably. You know what I'm saying? But I see people that do that. They box themselves in and they become a one-trick pony. And then when that one-trick pony is gone, you ain't got no other moves. You know what I'm saying? Or what happens is you have to anchor in on your bias, right? If I build a Dak hating channel and Dak messes around and has a historically career year and he wins the MVP, I can't pivot off of that. No, because that's where my money's tied to, hating Dak. So I have to sit back and say, well, let's wait and see. Let's wait. Like I got to consistently hate because I built my entire brand off of hating Dak Prescott and not having contextual football conversations. See what I'm saying? So it's like, for all my up-and-comers, don't box yourself in, right? Work on your craft. Work on your craft. There's different things I've enrolled in, right? I've enrolled in classes to help me speak better, right? Because sometimes I get quick, I slur, hey, take your pauses, take your breaths, how to pronunciate properly, how to make sure I'm looking into the camera. Like, these are all media training skills that I've kind of learned throughout the course of my time, and how to surgically walk you guys through a story and different things like that, right? There's little skills and details in the entire sauce that not a lot of people understand. It's not just Jay Tuck is turning on his camera and just talking about the Cowboys. There's a lot of different things that leads up to it, a lot of different habits. So want to make sure I leave that out there for you guys. Let's see here. My basement boys, what's going on? Hoodies in the building. What's going on with you, dog? All right. So let's go ahead and get into why we are here. So I feel like when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, there are some guys that we need. We can't hope, right? We can't, maybe wish upon a star, right? These are guys that we need to take a leap this year, right? ASAP. Not next year, not 2 years down. We need these guys to really take a massive leap this year, and overall, I think is going to help our season. So let's start with number one, right? In no particular order. Our left tackle in Tyler Guyton, right? Tyler Guyton. I feel like when it comes to Tyler Guyton, the opportunity is there, right? The opportunity is there when it comes to Tyler Guyton. But we all know last year's, keep it a buck, it wasn't a good season. It was not a good rookie campaign. And honestly, I don't want to put this all on Tyler's shoulders. I will put some of the blame on the front office. As a TJ, it's going to be a long-ass list. I'm only doing 5, bro. I'm only going to do 5. But yeah, we might have to do a series. You know what I'm saying? A whole 3-part series, right? I only got 5 for today, right? Tyler Guyton. I feel like the front office put him in a bad spot knowing he's never played the left tackle position ever before, right? Right side player, and I know that they were trying to, Dylan Gabriel technically is a left high-end quarterback, and so technically that means that Tyler Guyton was protecting his blind side. I get all that. Cool story, bro. But that's not playing left tackle at the NFL level. It's just not. It was a cool story to kind of get Cowboys fans feeling a little bit more comfortable about the pick, but that ain't it, right? So they put him in a bad situation because I feel like the Dallas Cowboys did not have a quality veteran safety blanket behind Tyler Guyton. Now, he went out there, had a decent camp, looked well in preseason, and I feel throughout the course of the season, things kind of got a little shaky, right? We all know about the 18 penalties. The footwork was slightly off. The hands were out of placement, and Luke can probably speak on this better than me. This is why I trust Luke, right? Because he played the position. I felt like, what up, bro? What's going on with you, dog? I felt like when it came to Tyler Guyton, it's like, y'all remember Tim Tebow when they tried to change his throwing motion, all that, right? They tried to change Tim Tebow's throwing motion. But when things really hit the fan, and it was fourth quarter, game on the line, what was Tim Tebow going to do, y'all? He was going to stanky arm that thing and just slang it and let it rip, right? So his natural instincts kicked in. I felt like when it came to Tyler Guyton, yes, they were working on the technique. Yes, they're working on the footwork, right? But when you're going through the course of the game and it's survival of the fittest, and you're going against Max Crosby and Jalen Carter and all sorts, you ain't got time to work on what you've been practicing, bro. It's survive. It's survive. Do what you must to protect Dak Prescott, right? And there was often instances of bad placements, wide hands. That's where the holding calls came from, right? Footwork is a little bit off, lunging at your hips, right? It was just too much for him. And to get comfortable, he was just doing what he knows, right? So I don't want to put this all on Tyler Guyton. If I had to blame Tyler Guyton, I would probably put 25-30% on Tyler Guyton. And that's being harsh, to be honestly, right? Because at the end of the day, I feel like Tyler Guyton is a kid that wants it. I know there was some type of narratives out there, right? But Tyler Guyton is a kid that wants it. Tyler Guyton is a lunch pail type of mentality where he does want to work, right? He does want to work. I mean, he's from Dallas. You see what I'm saying? Like, so he wants it. I just felt like he was put in a very bad opportunity. But I will say this. It's extremely important that Tyler Guyton takes a massive leap from who he was last year, right? I think it's extremely important that he does, right? And I think he's in a good situation with Coach Connor Riley. There was a video, I think that's with not Haley, duh. Haley's gone, so it's Haley Sutton, with Nicole, right? They were asking like Cooper Beebe questions, and Tyler Guyton was there, and he was like showing off his footwork, like why Cowboys fans should be excited. So I feel like the one thing I didn't want to happen to Tyler Guyton was I didn't want his confidence to be broken, because getting benched, struggling your rookie year, like that can sometimes impact you mentally, right? I think that is going to be good for Tyler Guyton to get a fresh start, fresh coaching, right? And just a clean slate so we can sit back and say, okay, there it is, right? There it is. But if he doesn't, y'all, it can put this offense that we're all excited about into a frenzy where we have to move pieces and do different things. Maybe go to Austin Richards, maybe kick Tyler. Like, then it kind of gets a little quirky, right? I've said this numerous times, and I'm not coming off of this. Tyler Guyton is our most important piece when it comes to this season. If he clicks, all right, we got something. But if he's what he was last year, y'all, we're going to have to do something, and we're going to have to do something quick, right? So Tyler Guyton is my number one player when it comes to just importancy, when it comes to stepping up and taking that leap, and I believe the kid can, right? I know a lot of people felt like, oh, Tuck, you hated Tyler Guyton. I didn't hate Tyler Guyton. I felt like Tyler Guyton was a futuristic pick. I just knew if you were going to play him at left tackle, he wasn't going to be ready out the box. I said that in my film breakdown before the Cowboys even drafted him. You can go check this. It's still posted. I said that before the Dallas Cowboys even drafted Tyler Guyton. Whoever drafts his kid, if you're not going to play him at right tackle, you must be patient with him. Then Cowboys, you draft him, of course. It's like, okay, Tuck has to love him, and it's going to be all pro, and the Cowboys don't miss at offensive line. You know what we do, right? All right, just be patient with the kid and give him time. But he's my most important piece when it comes to this season, and Tyler Guyton. I really think that he can make the leap. New coaching, full offseason under Duke, full offseason training at left tackle, right? New philosophy, just wipe the slate clean and go back at it. And I feel like also you're seeing him with Cooper Beebe. You're seeing him with Tyler Smith. You're seeing him with Tyler Booker. So you're seeing him mixed in with the offensive line, which I think will be a massive confidence boost for him. Basement Boys with the question, Dak has to continue to be who he is. His story shows Dak is a great quarterback. He has another receiver. Let's see what he can get from this line and the running backs that will tell you how Dak performs. Great observation, my dog. You know what I'm saying? Because I was going to, spoiler, I was going to add Dak to this list, but I've done enough Dak talk on this channel for a little bit. I think I'm just going to be cool on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be cool on that. Tyler Guyton, I think, will make a massive jump this season. I see conviction in this coaching staff. Yep. I see conviction in the coaching staff. I see conviction in him. And sometimes as a player, all you need is a staff that believes in you, right? Staff that believes in you. And speaking of believing in you, it gets to my guy, number 2 on the list. Mazi Smith. Maserati Mozzie. All right. I feel like it's extremely important, y'all, that we get a jump from Mazi Smith, right? Salute to my guy Keystone with the super chat. Tyler Guyton is the key because he's on Dak's blind side, bro. Facts, dog. Facts. So when it comes to Mazi, right? Mazi has taken steps forward, right? He has taken steps forward from his rookie season, right? You know, but I need leap. You know, I need a leap in comes to Mazi Smith, right? I feel like Mazi has gotten an unfair shake in Dallas. Not really having a sponsor, right? Not really having a guy that is going to be like, you know what? Mozzie's my guy. We need somebody, whether that's Whit Cotton, whether it's Matt Eberflus, right? Somebody to put their arm around Mozzie and say, bro, I'm in this with you. I got you. Block it all out, right? Dan Quinn's gone, right? Mike Zimmer is gone. You, Mozzie, you are my guy. You, Mozzie, this will not work without you. You, Mozzie, we're not even bringing in any one text, and we're ignoring Lou's videos. We're ignoring all of Boss's videos. We're ignoring all that. Because I believe in you that much, right? We need somebody to believe in Mozzie and put the battery in his back. It's show and prove time. If Mozzie is still, he's good, or he's all right, you know, we have to have the conversations about trade bait possibly, you know. But Mozzie showed improvement last year. It wasn't incremental. It wasn't massive where you're looking, oh my God, Mozzie. No. It's still low gas mileage, the same faults he had in college, right? It was still lack of consistency when it comes to his technique, right? Anchoring in, but it was better than his rookie season. Year 3, Mazi Smith, I want to see the distance of the consistency shrink, right? I don't want to see, oh my God, Mazi just blew that up in the backfield in the first quarter. And then we're watching the rest of the game like, yo, where's Mozzie, right? That one massive, oh, my God, play. And then he fades for 2 to 3 games, right? You know, because that's what he had in Michigan. Like, there was games at Michigan where if I just cut it up properly, Mazi Smith was a Greek god, right? But it's one of those plays where it's disruptive, taking on double teams, havoc in the backfield, and then you're just sitting back watching. You're sitting back watching. So I was sitting here on my clicker watching Mozzie in Michigan, just dog. You gonna do it again, or are we just done? We're just done. You know what I'm saying? There were some games, it was just done. You see what I'm saying? So I really think it's gonna be important for someone to put their arm around Mazi Smith in year 3 and say, you are my guy, put that battery in his back, and we need to see a massive leap. I know Micah has done it. I know some of the players have done it, right? But it just needs to be the coaching staff, right, to really ignite that in Mazi, because if you're able to turn the corner with Mazi, you got something, right? You really got something, but we all know the story. Mike McCarthy ain't want to draft Mazi. Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator, ain't want to draft Mazi. You know, Mike Zimmer comes in and says, hey, Mazi's doing well, but I need some more defensive tackles. You know, so he wasn't really a Mazi guy. We need somebody to say, you know what, I like what this kid has, and I'm going to bring the best out of him. And I think that Matt Eberflus will. And why am I saying that? It's not because of Hopiism. It's because Matt Eberflus is cut from the Rod Marinelli tree. And the one thing I always say about Rod Marinelli, Hot Rod, man, I got a photo of me and Hot Rod out there in my man cave. Salute to Hot Rod, right? Is that Hot Rod is going to get every ounce out of your potential. So if you're only 70%, Rod Marinelli is going to get this 70%, right? Even with Tristan Hill, even though I wasn't a fan of the Tristan Hill pick, Marinelli would have Tristan revved up. He just wasn't that talented, right? I don't want to say he wasn't talented. He wasn't that talented, right? But he was getting the max out of Tristan Hill. I feel like Matt Eberflus, with that same approach, is going to get that max out of Mazi Smith. Now, what is that ceiling? What is that cap? We hope it's 100, right? But it might be 72, right? That might be the ceiling for Mazi Smith. That's 72, right? I feel like Eberflus and the staff is going to be able to get that from Mazi Smith, but it's definitely a dying need, y'all, because if Mazi doesn't take a leap, not a step, like a inch forward, a step forward, I hear the conversations, I hear the arguments, how one tech isn't important in Eberflus's scheme. One tech isn't important in all defensive schemes, bro. It's important, right? Names might not be important, but you need a guy that can take on blockers. Right? It's important in any defensive scheme, whether it's a 3-4 or 4-3, under, odd, nickel, whatever, right? You need a guy that can take on blocks and free up your linebackers, right? It's extremely important that Mazi takes that leap, and I'm thinking that Mazi ultimately will. So that's for Mazi Smith. That's number 2, important. After Tyler Guyton, I have Mazi Smith as importance, especially when it comes to our trenches. Yeah, Mazi and Booker need to be best buds. Man, y'all see my dog Booker out there pushing little kids down to win. You know what I'm saying? He pushing little kids down to win. He already competitive. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's already competitive. You know, scheme matters. Yeah, and scheme does matter, right? Scheme does matter, right? But to act like the one tech isn't important, no, hell no. Especially with the team that struggles versus the run like we do. Oh, I know it's not all going to be A guy, B guy runs, but you still need someone to take on blockers and free up your linebackers, bro. For someone who's played linebacker, I didn't want Big Lou getting to that second level touching all on me like that. You know what I'm saying? I need to be out in space where I can cross Lou up. You know what I'm saying? I can do like Day did. You know what I'm saying? Like Day used to do Baby D. You know what I'm saying? That's how I do Lou, like that. I'm not trying to go bull rush with Lou's big ass. No, I don't want Lou getting his hands all up on my pads, under my shoulder blades. Hell no. That is too much. That is too much force. No, I got a Day Big Lou. You know what I'm saying? We doing all that, right? So I need my interior guys to keep the Big Lou's the hell up off of me so I can flow in space and tackle. You know what I'm saying? But hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no, bro. You know what I'm saying? I used to run a little pit and pulls, and I see them tackles coming around the edge and all that stuff, bro. Like, I'm not about to take on these blockers and all that. You know, back in my day, they used to be able to cut blocking and stuff. They used to come out for your knees. So they used to teach offensive linemen to cut for your knees. I used to hate it, right? Because you see these offensive guards pulling around, these tackles pulling around, and they come in, and they're just cutting for your knees, right? Hated it, right? No. I ain't trying to do all that. No. right? In space. Now you see me, now you don't. Like, nah, I'm not trying to go toe to toe with Big Lou and bang with these offensive guards and tackles and all. Like, hell nah. Nope. Big Lou and Vosh, yeah, hell nah. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I ain't trying to do all that, bro. Keep me clean. Keep me clean. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. I was one of those linebackers where I shot the gap. I wasn't a key and D guy, right? I'm just coming downhill. Like I was just a guy that's gonna come downhill and get shit cracking. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna run a play action, you're gonna get me a few times. But I'm coming downhill. I'm peeling my ears back and I'm coming downhill. And especially on third down, I'm coming after the quarterback, right? That was it, right? But all this slow playing it, read and react, key and D, you know what I'm saying? Read the pitch keys and all that. I remember one play, my coach literally told us, watch the option. And he was like, Tuck, if they come to you and run the option off the edge, slow play, right? So like they run the option towards you, you're supposed to split the difference, right? You're supposed to split the difference between the quarterback and the pitch, the running back, right? So you're supposed to like split the difference, right? So the first play, they ran it at me, right? And I jumped towards the running back. So I thought he was going to pitch it. The quarterback keeps it and peels off for like a 15-yard gain, right? And he was just talking shit, right? And I was just mad, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn it, I should have split the difference. I should have split the difference like coach told me, but I didn't think this quarterback was going to be smart enough to keep it because he wasn't really a dual threat quarterback, right? So the very next play, right, they shift, right? And I shift over to the other side, right, to the weak side because I was the will. They run it at me again, but I am seeing red, y'all. I'm seeing red. I come off that edge, right? I come off that edge. Bam! I light that quarterback up, right? I light his ass up. I'm standing over him. I'm flexing. And while I'm sitting over him talking shit, I'm like, where's the fuck the ball? Where's the ball at? He got that pitch off. He got that pitch off, and that running back went for like 55 yards up the sideline, right? Because my safety was supposed to come down. I'm not sure what the hell happened, but he was like, you were supposed to split the difference. I was like, oh, damn, bro. I didn't know he got it off. You know what I'm saying? You ever play like college football 26 and you hit the quarterback and he must have, I don't know how the hell he got that pitch off, but I cracked the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? Like I cracked him out, you know what I'm saying? Because he was a running threat, so I could hit him hard. I came off that edge. Bam, collision over him, talking shit. Talk that shit now. Talk that shit now. Talk that shit now. Hey, bro, where's the ball? My bad. You got it off, didn't you? Okay. Tucker, get out. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, right? So I need defensive tackles to keep me clean. You know what I'm saying? So key and D wasn't my thing because I didn't start playing football till late. I was just playing off pure instincts. And the first play, he held it. He turned up. Right? He was talking shit to me. So I said, the next opportunity I get, I'm going to crack the shit out this quarterback. I did. He felt it. But it was like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, so yeah. So we need defensive tackle play. Defensive tackles are the offensive linemen for your linebackers. All right. So number 3. Now this person, to be honest with you guys, he's a little protected in our community, you know. He got some bot accounts that really just loves him, and it's hard to say things about him. Yeah, he baited me, bro. He baited the hell out of me. He baited me. He got me. You know what I'm saying? But we beat him. We won the game, you know. We won the game. But here's what I'll tell everybody, right? And anyone who's played football, sports, wherever, right? When I say Cowboys fans should never be satisfied, right? If you played sports before, you understand, even if you drop 50 or even if you had a 12 tackle game, your coach is still going to talk to you in that film room like you ain't do shit. You know what I'm saying? They're going to find a play, right? There's going to be a game where you feel like you balled out, and your coach is going to sit there with that clicker, and he's going to find the one play that you messed up on, and it's going to rewind. You know what I'm saying? It's going to rewind. All right. It's never facts. It's never enough. All right. So this guy, a little protecting our community, and I already see you guys talking about it in the chat. Yeah. It's time. It is time, right? It is time, right? I get it. The dances and stuff was cute. It was fun, right? Him and Henny doing the whack-a-mole and stuff. But it's time, y'all. It's time. It is time. Jake Ferguson is in a contract year. Jake Ferguson was 12th in targets amongst tight ends. Jake Ferguson didn't get in the end zone. He was 34th out of 36 in yards per reception. It's time, right? I like Jake Ferguson, right? I felt like last year we were going to get the uptick. It ain't happened. Now, what they'll do, right, the people who would criticize the shit out of certain players, but some players is protected for whatever reason, right? Well, he was hurt last year. Jake Ferguson was hurt last year. The fuck? Everybody was hurt last. Who wasn't hurt last year? Who was a Dallas Cowboys player that wasn't hurt last year? Tuck. Ferg is fine. He was just hurt last year. Tyler Guyton was hurt last year. CeeDee Lamb was hurt last year. Micah Parsons was hurt last year. Zach Martin was hurt last year. Deron Bland was hurt last year. Trayvon Diggs was hurt last year. Right? Whoa. Whoa. We can't make little rules because we're a fan of them and then say, oh, he was hurt last year. No. It's time that Ferg becomes top five. Top five. And I'll ask you guys this question. At this point of his career in Dallas, has Jake Ferguson had a better career than Dalton Schultz? Yeah, Marcus, Dak was hurt too. Everybody was hurt. Hell, didn't Mike McCarthy have something going on? Everybody was hurt last year. But has Jake Ferguson had a better career thus far, the Dallas Cowboy, than Dalton Schultz? I don't think he has. I don't think he has. Yeah. Hell no. And we franchise tagged Dalton Schultz and let him go. Right? So we are at the point where, hey, hey, bro. Hey, I'm trying, bro. But you got to. You got to be consistent. You have to become that security blanket. You have to get in the end zone. You have to become that red zone threat. Right? We seen glimpses of it. We seen the Ferg leap, and we seen glimpses of it, but we haven't seen it on a consistent basis. And last year, honestly, there was no excuse last year because Brandon Cooks was hurt, right? Brandon Cooks was out. We had Jalen Tolbert. If there was ever a time for Jake Ferguson to become our wide receiver 2, our weapon 2, it was last year. If there was ever a golden opportunity for Jake Ferguson to step up and be our weapon 2, it was last year. When CeeDee Lamb was getting triple team. Hey, if there was any time, bro, it was last year. You know what I'm saying? That was it. And what, 443? Where do you at? Let's pull it up. What is his total stats? Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Let's look at that. Jake Ferguson, what did he fully do last year? Let's see what Ferg did last year. I get it, right? I get the tight end camps, and I get the blessing from Travis Kelce. But hey, dog. Hey, you got to show me something. You got to show me. Overall grade, and I really don't care about grades, but if you care about grades, that ain't good. All right, 81 targets, right? 12th out of 37 tight ends, 59 receptions, 12th out of 37 tight ends, 494 yards, 20th out of 37, 0 receiving touchdowns. That's we needed you last year, bro. We needed you. We needed the Ferg leap. Now, granted, this was some Cooper Rush, right? It was some Cooper Rush, but hey, be that as it may, you still should have been the safety blanket for Cooper Rush. And let's not act like the earlier games he was balling out. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like the earlier games and throughout the course of earlier in the season he was balling out. So if there's a player that we definitely need an uptick from offensively, and I think that we're going to get it naturally because of the George Pickens addition, it's Jake Ferguson's time. It's Jake Ferguson's time. Clayton Adams. If you guys follow my draft content long enough, y'all know who my boo thing was in that draft. Y'all know who Tuck was willing to whisk it all for. Y'all know who my boo thing was in that draft. And Trey McBride. And Mike McCarthy loved them too. They said Mike McCarthy threw a fit when he didn't get Trey McBride. Threw a fit in that draft room. I get you. I did the same thing. I did the same thing out there in Vegas, Big Mike. Threw a fit. All right? Clayton Adams had Trey McBride, turned him up. Trey McBride already got his new deal. Ferg, it's up to you, dog. Ferg, it's up to you. Now, I know there's going to be some Twitter accounts that's going to love you no matter what because you did the whack-a-mole. I get it. I love the whack-a-mole. I use a lot of celebrations, right? I love the Ferg leap. But you got to show it this year. This year, Jake Ferguson has to become one of those ones. Because you're seeing these tight ends, they're evolving. We saw what Brock Bowers did out the gate. Brock Bowers out the gate. Now you got Colston Loveland in Chicago. Got Tyler Warren. You know, you got some of these other younger tight ends. They ain't as stiff, right? They ain't. Them boys can move now. Tight ends can move now. Tight ends can boogie now. You know? So it's going to be time for Jake Ferguson to go out there and show and prove. And you ain't heard this from me, but conversation is there's another Dallas Cowboys tight end in the building that's on them toes. Hey, I'm not the biggest Spanford fan. I actually like John Stevens better. But there's talks. There's a new guy, 6'7", that's on them toes. It's now or never for Jake Ferguson, right? Do I think that Jake Ferguson ultimately stays in Dallas? He would have to have a crazy season. He would have to have a crazy season, even in order for it to be in the conversations. But as of right now, I would probably say no. I probably wouldn't put my money on it as Jake Ferguson returning in Dallas. I think I read a report, like even like the Chargers, or like some of my friends who were Chargers, they're talking about, oh, we can get Jake Ferguson last year. Now they got my guy who I loved coming out of Syracuse in Arondé Gatson. You see what I'm saying? But Jake Ferguson, just like Ringo's saying, what Lil Wayne say, don't you ever get too comfortable, yeah, that's the old Lil Wayne. That's the old Lil Wayne before he faded out. You know what I'm saying? Don't get too comfortable, Jake Ferguson, because I don't think that he should be solidified where his job can't get taken, right? If we look at a camp and we're seeing Spanford, we're going to have to have the argument. He shouldn't be safe. He should not be safe in any stretch of the imagination. And he will with the receiving core we have. I think he should naturally turn up, right? Because the middle of the field should be open now. It should be open now. But we'll have to sit back and wait and see. But I feel like when it comes to Jake Ferguson, using him in these seams, and like I said, some of it could have been Dak Prescott, right? You know what I'm saying? But he was 12th in attempts, right? So it was targets. I mean, so the opportunity was there, but to go up and make these big plays like that, we need to see that on a more consistent basis. He needs to be our big rebounder, our big go-get-it guy, right? And the guy that is Mr. Reliable for Dak Prescott, right? Romo had it with Witten. Dalton Schultz was that for Dak for a little bit, right? Just that guy that can find spots underneath in the zone and just get open and move the chains. And he has a little wiggle to him. Not a lot of wiggle, but he has enough wiggle with him. So Jake Ferguson, that is number 3 on my list. Now, number 4, we'll talk about here in a second, is a guy who I feel like is new, but I'm kind of excited for him, right? I think there's something there, and I like his film. It just needs cleanup work, right? And that's Kenneth Murray Jr. Not Keith Murray, the rapper, right? Kenneth Murray, right? But I feel like Kenneth Murray, since he was drafted in that 2020 draft out of OU, we're getting a lot of Sooners. You know what I'm saying? We're getting a lot of boomer Sooners to the Chargers. His Chargers film wasn't necessarily the best. I know in 2023, he had like 81 tackles. Last year, he had like 71, something like that, right? But when it comes to Kenneth Murray Jr., one, I think that him and Maris will probably be our linebacker 1-2 punch, right? They'll probably be our linebacker 1-2 punch, okay? Who's going to be the green dot? Maybe it'll be Maris, but maybe it'll be Kenneth Murray. I'm not really sure. I think I would probably lean towards Maris, but we'll see. But the things that Kenneth Murray can do, I don't want to say he's like me, right? But he's a downhill avalanche tackler. He's a downhill avalanche tackler, I'm saying he'll come downhill and he will tackle. Right, I think he went at 71 last year, 84 in Chargers in LA. Right, something like that. That's just from solos. So he'll come downhill and he will tackle. And he is built for it tough. I think he's like 247, something like that. Right, so he is that brute, compact linebacker. Selfishly, I would like for him to get number 55 because some random. I think it's Barron from Syracuse. That's my number 55. Come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? But I would like for him to get number 55. But I feel like when it comes to Kenneth Murray Jr., Cowboys fans will like him. But one, he needs a whole overhaul cleanup in coverage. The coverage game, nah. You know what I'm saying? So gonna need to clean up in coverage, right? Also, I feel like sideline to sideline as a scraper needs to get a little bit better. It has some missed tackles here and there, but it's just, just by frequency. But I think this is going to be a guy that can really boost our defense. I'm just probably over the Damone Clark experiment. Hey, we tried. It was a cool story. Nah, right? I feel like it's going to be Kenneth Murray, Maris Leofow, Jack Sanborn, who I could have probably said as a 2B in this as well. But I feel like Kenneth Murray is definitely going to be a guy that can really boost our defense, and especially in getting pressure and also getting sacks, right? So he's another guy you can blitz in the A gap and B gap, even though Eberflus doesn't blitz a lot. I'll say this, y'all. I know historically Matty E doesn't blitz. He likes to rush forward. But there's too much talent on this defense to come forward to not to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want Cowboys fans getting stuck on what he used to do. Because remember, Dan Quinn was a cover 3 guy, right? And when he got to Dallas, he kind of, tossed some of that stuff out, right? So overall, I feel like when you have a Fowler, you have a Murray, you have Micah, you'll get Overshown back. You'll have, D-Easy, Sam Williams. It's going to be hard to not blitz these guys, right? Shamar James was another linebacker who I like, just a downhill blitzer guy. It's going to be hard to sit back and drop these guys back in coverage. We got too many press corners to be passive. Yeah, I agree, Lou. I agree. And then also, to go along with that, we got press corners, but we might not have them corners. You know what I'm saying? You can't give these quarterbacks all day in the pocket, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know we're going to try to get pressure with 4, but with the corners that we got until we can get healthy, we ain't like that yet. You know what I'm saying? So sitting them dogs, especially week 1, going against Jalen Hurts, we all know what is Jalen Hurts' Achilles heel. Getting pressure, getting blitz in the pocket, keeping him contained in the pocket, sending A-gap pressure. You can't sit back and just rush with 4 with Jalen Hurts and have A.J. Brown and Smitty and all running against God knows who at the cornerback position, right? You're going to have to send them dogs. You're going to send them dogs, right? So I think that Eberflus is going to add some blitz aspect to his game. I highly doubt he's going to sit back and be rush 4, drop 7. You're going to have to gamble a little bit to make things happen, man. My dog Lewis, what's going on with you? Lewis Ortiz in the building, man. Also, salute to all the members real quick. You know what I'm saying? All the members out there as well. Like I said, join the CFO gang membership out there. Get the emojis, the shiesty emojis, all that fun stuff, the shotties. You know what I'm saying? Got the shotties out there. And then one time for Big Mike. One time for Big Mike. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to find Big Mike and see if I can get Big Mike on the show. You know what I'm saying? We can keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So I talk to Big Mike. But back to Kenneth Murray Jr. There we go, T-Jack. Gang in the building. Kenneth Murray Jr., yeah. I like his film. I like his build. I like his toughness. He's an old school brute force linebacker, right? And I feel like even though I'm not high on Sanborn like some people are, for whatever reason, because I don't have nothing to be extremely high on, but if you can recreate what we had, when was that, 2018? Was that the Jalen Smith, Van Der Esch year? If you can kind of recreate that, because Eberflus is the linebacker guy, that can be something that's special, right? So if you can recreate that, right? But when it comes to Jack Sanborn, I just don't have enough. It's inconclusive data for me, because there's not enough film out there. It's not enough reps, not enough snaps for me to be able to say, okay, that's what he does. Like, it was just, he does some things. He's kind of a special teamer guy, right? Hope for the best. Maybe he can turn in to be what Zach Bond was in Philly for us, but I don't have the evidence to provide that to you guys. I'm not going to go blindly to say it, because that's what's trendy right now. But when it comes to Kenneth Murray Jr., there's tons of evidence out there. Not the cleanest, right? Not the cleanest when it comes to his key and D, but he will come downhill and he'll rock shit, right? Now, run defense, sometimes he'll overshoot, over pursuit. So that's where Eberflus can clean this up. But this is a good refurbished project to take on with guys who are 26 years old, drafted in 2020, that still has some upside potential. And just look at that football frame. It's just a football frame right there. So him and Jack Sanborn, that's the one thing you can say. They have linebacker football frames. If you can make it as far as their playmaking ability, you can get something special. So Kenneth Murray Jr. is number 4 on my list. And then number 5, like I said, we could keep going all day, right? And let me know in the comments, who are some people that you guys feel like must take a leap when it comes to this season, right? Because I could have did 10. I could have did 15, damn near. I could have tossed Brian Schottenheimer's ass in there as well, because the one thing I will say is this: Brian Schottenheimer, we can't have a rookie coach. We can't. Right? We can't have a rookie coach. And what I mean by that, right, it's going to happen, but we can't afford to have a bunch of consistent rookie mistakes. It's going to be bad, right? It's going to be bad, right? So I feel like Brian Schottenheimer is going to need to be wise amongst his years. You know what I'm saying? Wise amongst his year. All right, so Lou says Kalen Carson. I had Kalen Carson on this list, Lou. I had him on this list. Javonte Williams is a good one as well. He's probably the most important too as well. I did a slight pivot, but Kalen Carson was pretty much going to be this one. But honestly, I don't know. I still got to get into that film of Kalen Carson. I'm just not there yet, but I will be when I get back from vacation. But when it comes to my number 5 player, who I need to drastically improve, Terrence Steele. Big Terrence. We look up. You're the veteran leader. You're the veteran leader now, the offensive line. All right? You had the most snaps played in the NFL last year. 9 sacks, 41 pressures, struggled in pass pro. But overall, I feel like when it comes to Terrence Steele, you got to be a veteran leader now. You got to be a veteran leader, right? I feel like he was an undrafted guy, was a good story and all, but you got to be better. You got to be better, especially in pass pro. Especially in pass pro, bro. You got to be better in pass pro, Terrence Steele. We need that, because the first guy I mentioned, Tyler Guyton, he needs to take a leap. We can't have Tyler Guyton being stagnant and also Terrence Steele struggling on the perimeter. It's just a bad mixture for Dak Prescott, right? So Terrence Steele is going to be extremely important that he takes an uptick, right? And here is what I feel like is going to help Terrence Steele. One, new offensive line coach, because I wasn't a Solari guy. You know. Fun story. I worked at a company. One of my secretaries, his uncle was actually Mike Solari. He's like, "Oh, I see you're a Cowboys fan." I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh yeah, my uncle is Mike Solari." I was like, "Okay, cool. Well, tell your uncle at Thanksgiving to get his shit together." I was saying, tell your uncle at Thanksgiving, bro, get his shit together. You know what I'm saying? But Terrence Steele, I think he's going to improve with Coach Connor Riley. And the one thing I also think that can drastically help Terrence Steele this upcoming season is a balanced play calling scheme. We all know, like the run game, Terrence Steele. I didn't want to say all that, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bro. Yeah. I gotta send you a note or something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I feel like Terrence Steele in the run game is perfectly fine, right? I have no concerns about Terrence Steele peeling his ears back and moving forward and driving people off the line of scrimmage, right? I feel like that is what he does best. It's when we get into situations where Dak's throwing 40 times, 45 times. And ultimately, like, Terrence Steele did well, you know what I'm saying? But the problem with Terrence Steele was, you go back to that Eagles game, right? When he gets wrecked in the worst moments possible. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I think I did a film session on that. I think it's still on the channel, right? Like when Terrence Steele gets cooked, it's in the worst moment possible to get cooked. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, okay, the Dallas Cowboys are driving on Philadelphia Eagles. We now get inside the 20. If we score right now, we're about to go up 6. And then Terrence Steele gets wrecked, strip, fumble, recover. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just one of those things. So I feel like for Terrence, Connor Riley, and being more committed to the run game, which we'll see, will definitely improve Terrence Steele. But he's the veteran guy now. He's the older, elder statesman when it comes to our offensive line. Got a bunch of young boys, and Terrence is still young too. But but he's the older guy. He's the one who's been through the fire. He's the one people can kind of lean on outside of Tyler Smith, right? So Terrence needs to step it up. He's gotten his bag. He's gotten his money, right? It's time to go out there and really earn your keep. Man, so that's it, man. Those are my 5 who I got. I think I got some in the building. We all said, Chris says the safeties. Elaborate on that, Chris. Are you talking about the Donovans, Malik's, or just the Wanyes and the Marquise Bells? I would say, yeah, the Donovans and the Malik's, yeah, absolutely. Also, when he first started, he was kind of a dog. I feel like he's gone through the fire, right? Of being an undrafted guy. First started, he struggled a little bit, but then he kind of fought back and kind of bounced a little back and earned his keep, And, I was saying, talking about what I talked about earlier when it comes to community, I remember that whole conversation when Boss Cowboy was saying Terrence Steele needs to start over Lyle Collins, right? And at first it sounded crazy and I wasn't with it, right? What's up, Jeff? What's going on with you, dog? At first I was not with the Terrence Steele over Lyle Collins. But see, the thing is, right, when it comes to earning your voice, Boss Cowboy has earned his voice in his community. So when Boss was screaming Terrence Steele over Lyle Collins, I could have just went with the angry mob and just been like, Boss is crazy, he's delusional, la 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 la. And I said, all right, hold on. If my dog Boss Cowboy is so loud about Terrence Steele out of the blue, he's seeing something. So I had to get in the lab, watch Terrence Steele, watch like 9 games with Terrence Steele. And I remember I texted and called Boss and was like, oh, you right, dog. My bad. I was like, my bad, bro. Not bad. I was tripping. Big tripping. My bad. You know what I'm saying? My bad, bro. You right. Right. And so that's why I was talking about earning your voice. You know what I'm saying? I know when certain people say things in our community, even if I disagree, I need to go double check because they seeing something. Right. And that's not everybody. But there are few people in this community who I trust. Like if Lou's saying something, all right, what the hell is Lou saying? You know what I'm saying? What's Lou saying? All right, he's seeing something. All right, I might not see it. Let me go back and see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I just respect their football acumen, right? I know there's people in this community that doesn't just say things for the sake of likes. Let's get those likes up, right? Or just say what's trendy. They go with their football guts, right? And so when I hear that, it always perks my ears up, right? And you guys see it, right? There's often times where people might be live and you might just see me in the chat, right? And even though I'm also supporting my brothers and my sisters, I'm also hearing their content to see what their thought process is. Because I don't want to call everybody here. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that. I used to be on the phone with content creators in the Cowboys community damn near 7 hours a day. I would talk to like Boss for like 2 hours. Then I would talk to West. Then I would talk to DMV. Then I would talk to Rome. Then I would call Law and talk to him. Then I would talk to Scott. Then I would talk. I don't want to do that. Let me just tune into your live show and see what your thoughts are. You know what I'm saying? Because that was eating up way too much time, right? Run blocking, putting people in dirt. That's what Still does best. And here's the thing I will say. You do now have an offensive line, Cowboys Nation, that is built to put defensive lines in the dirt when it comes to our run game. I feel like that will help Tyler Guyton. If you tell Tyler Guyton, hey, just fire off the ball and we're going to run the ball 25 times, I feel like he's perfectly fine with that. Tyler Smith is whatever, bro. Tyler Smith is whatever, right? Pass game, run game, you name it, he's with whatever, right? Cooper Beebe, we know he likes putting people in the dirt. Dirt McGirt, right? Tyler Booker likes putting people in the dirt. Even little kids. Right? He likes putting people in the dirt. Terrence Steele likes putting people in the dirt. We have to commit to that, right? We have to commit to that, not just in the preseason, not just the offseason and, all these campaigns, right? We have to commit to physicality and putting defensive lines in the dirt. And there's going to be no better test than week 1. I want to see it. I cannot wait to see it. How are we going to attack? If we go to Philly and Dak throws 45 times, y'all, it's going to be the womp womps. It's going to be the womp womps. I hop all season. Yep. I hop, Lou. I hop. I would love to see it. We're built for it. I would, if it's me, if we had a better blocking tight end, it'd be even better, right? But hey, I would line up in the I formation or offset I. I'm coming out there with my fullback and Hunter Luepke. I'm coming out in the backfield with Javonte Williams. Right at you. Right at you. Right at you. Right at you. Right? And those body blows. But the problem is we try to do that and then we come up off of it. Right? We try to come up off it. You have to work the jab. For all my boxing fans out there, we all know you got to work the jab. Got to work that jab. Got to work the jab, right? Before you can deliver the knockout blow. And as you get through time, that jab wears defensive down, right? We've all been out there. We've been on the other side of it for years. Appreciate you, T-Jack. Go enjoy the movie, fam. Got to take the truck back to the hub and take my ass home. Peace, y'all. Appreciate you, T-Jack, man, for tuning in, my guy. Appreciate you. But we've been on the other side of it. When I was at that Baltimore Ravens game, y'all, and realizing there's nothing we can do right now to stop this run, it breaks your spirit. It just breaks your spirit where it's 3 yards, 4 yards, first down, 4 yards, 5 yards, first down, 5 yards, 8 yards, first down, 10 yards, first down, 8 yards, 2 yards, first down. It breaks your spirit when teams line up, you know what they're doing, and you can't stop it anyways. For those of you who might be too young to remember, them Super Bowl rings that we got, that's how we got them. For those of you who was not around, those Super Bowl rings that we got with the triplets, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and Troy Aikman, that's how we got them. We lined up behind our big physical offensive line, and we ran it down people's throat. You knew we were giving the ball to Emmitt Smith. You had Jay Novacek. We had Moose Johnson lined up behind our big physical offensive line and ran it down your throat. And there was nothing you were going to be able to do about it. It wasn't that Jimmy Johnson was some mastermind. It wasn't was it that he was just some X's and O's mastermind? Nah, bro. I'm going to line up with this big, heavy offensive line and this talented-ass running back and get behind this fullback, and we're going to run it down your throat. And as soon as you sell out to do that, I'm going to hit Michael Irvin on his bang 8, and it's going to be a wrap. Facts, Lou. Bloody rings. Facts. That needs to be the motto. That needs to be the motto. We need to get bloody rings, right? Rings got like crust and stuff all on it. You know what I'm saying? The dirty, the grimy. That's what we got to get back to. That's what we got to get back to. That's what Dallas Cowboys football really was, y'all. I get the attraction that was built around it from a marketing campaign, the cheerleaders kicking and all that stuff, right? But when you look at the foundation of that championship team in the 90s, it was dirty, grimy, violent, bloody. Even the fan base. You know how people are like, oh man, I don't want to go to Philly. They wild, they crazy. That's how the old Texas Stadium used to be. Old Texas Stadium, you better keep your head on a swivel. Now, of course, I was a kid, right? But I seen people get their lids knocked off at the old Texas Stadium. It was not a friendly place to go play, right? It was loud. It was rowdy. It was bloody. It was bloody. It was physical, bloody, tough, arrogant swagger. That's what it is. That's what it was. It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't the greatest show on turf. No, absolutely not. Right? That's why people never really put Troy Aikman in the all-time quarterback conversations. It was, I'm gonna line up, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth with this run game, and if you sell on it, we'll air you out. And our defensive line was dirty, grimy in the trenches, linebackers, and then we had Deion Sanders back there. You know what I'm saying? If you want to toss it his way, but good luck. Right? But it wasn't pretty. It wasn't. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll go back one day. I probably won't get monetized for it, but we'll go back and watch some of those old Super Bowls live. And I want y'all to see how dirty it was. How dirty and grimy it was. Maybe we'll do that Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't got nothing to do. We're going to go back and watch the Super Bowl. We're going to pick one, and we're going to go through and watch it. But it was physical. It was tough. There was swagger. It was trash talk. He had Charles Haley. Like, it was a grimy, dirty ass team. And I said this the other day. And of course, Cowboys fans got mad at me for saying it, but it's the truth. All the Philadelphia Eagles are doing, they took our blueprint from the 90s and just redid it. They took our shit and remixed it and modernized it better than we done it. We know how people talk about, when Howie finessed during the trades and Howie's finessing during the trades, right? That was Jimmy Johnson. We talk about, the Eagles offensive line, right? That was our offensive line. The Eagles have one of the most historical running backs in NFL history. Yeah, we have Emmitt Smith too as well. But they got A.J. Brown, tough physical wide receiver. Yeah, we had that in Michael Irvin. And their quarterback, he's all right, but he's just a game manager, but he just wins with it. That's Troy Aikman. But look at their defensive line and what they got. The defensive line and Jalen Carter. Yeah, we had that too, right? So all the Eagles did was take what the Cowboys did to make them successful and just modernize that. Big time free agents, they want to bring in Jalen Ramsey or whoever, we would bring in Dion, right? Guys who might have red flags, right? Charles Haley, we would bring them in to be a difference maker, right? We would spin big to win. We would do by any means to win on the field. The Eagles have the tush push. You know what our tush push was, Jonathan? Hand the ball to Emmett. That was our tush push. Our tush push was hand the ball to Emmett. 3rd and 1, hand the ball to Emmett, or you might hand it off to Moose. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. That was our tush push. Maybe Gil comes back. From what conversations that I've heard, there was no interest of Gil coming back. I guess that day that he was in Frisco, he was just in Frisco and just pulled up. It was nothing contractual. There was no talks, no nothing. He was just in the area and just pulled up to say hi to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, I formation. Our tush push Lou was the I formation. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll do that. I think we'll do that Wednesday. Like I said, I'm gonna probably get demonetized as shit for it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it'd be fun to sit back and just watch the Super Bowl and show people how tough, physical, dirty, grimy, nasty we really was back then. Like what we see today is so unfamiliar to me as a Cowboys fan, right? Because I embody all those Cowboys traits. You know what I'm saying? Because when people think about hating Cowboys fans, they hate the fans like me. I'm arrogant. I talk shit. I'm overconfident. People say I'm conceited. I have aggressiveness about me. I have this don't give a fuck attitude. That's not my fault. It's Jimmy Johnson's fault. That's how he raised me. Don't be mad at me. It's how Jimmy Johnson raised me. I remember going to school and seeing kids who were Bengals fans and just being disgusted. Like, ugh, you got on a Bengals starter jacket? Why the hell your parents buy you that shit? Gross. Why are you wearing that? Who's that jersey? The hell is that? You're a Bills fan? Jim Kelly. Gross. You know what I'm saying? And still to this day, at 40 years old, I still look at some of these teams and their fan bases in disgust. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you? Like, you just woke up and decided to be a Browns fan and stay and cheer? Like, gross. I hate noon games. It's like poverty to me. Like, why are y'all playing at noon all the damn time? Eating cereal. And so That's what Jimmy told me to be. That's how Jimmy raised me. Arrogant, confident, cocky, conceited, right? Always doing what it takes to win. Hate losing. We don't lose to nobody. We don't bow down to nobody. It's Jimmy Johnson's fault. It's Jimmy Johnson's fault. That swagger that I had. We didn't fear nobody. We didn't care. We didn't care. Born in 05, so I wasn't. Yeah, so I watched all of them. Yeah, man, it was different. It was different. It was different. It was different. It was different back in the day. Cereal and football, Lou. I remember I went to a noon game once. It was the Chiefs versus somebody. And they had omelets on the grill. Like they had like their skillets out and they were making omelets. And I was just disgusted. You know what I'm saying? They were having like omelets and like mimosas and stuff. And I was just like, this is sick. This disgusts me. This poverty. Playing at noon all the damn time, right? Because that's where I got the whole thing about nooners from. Because what happened, it used to be blackouts, right? So if the Chiefs would play at the same time as the Cowboys here in Kansas City, I couldn't watch the Cowboys game. I would have to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. But luckily, the Chiefs back then, they were some nooners. Back when they had Todd Haley as their coach, right? They would always just play at noon. So I was like, I ain't got to worry about them except one game because the Chiefs always play at noon because they little locals, right? Back in the day. They ain't growing up now. They prime time now. But back in the day, they was little bitty locals. You know, like, all right. So my friends used to invite me out to come to the Chiefs game with them. Now I come out there, bro. I'm like, bro, why are we out here? It's 8 a.m. It's 8 a.m. Like, dog, what are we doing? I just got home from the club at 4, and we already out here at Arrowhead at 8 a.m. This is horrible. Who does this? Right? So I don't take poverty football franchises too kindly. You know what I'm saying? But that's how Jimmy Johnson raised me. I'm saying, Montana, what's going on with you, dog? You know what I'm saying? That's how Jimmy Johnson raised me. So I just think that somehow, some way, Cowboys Nation, we have to get back to basics, you know? And I feel like the thing that frustrates me the most as a Cowboys fan is that somehow from the 90s to 2025, the 49ers, even though they haven't won anything, you know what I'm saying? They actually been delayed more than us, right? They still kind of kept their culture as far as the San Francisco 49ers is concerned. You know what I'm saying? They still kept their culture and their identity. Like, they didn't become all Hollywood, glitz and glamour, and they got a brand new stadium at Levi. So, like, they didn't lose who they've always kind of been. You see what I'm saying? But we got lost in the shuffle, right? We got lost in the shuffle some way, somehow, where we went from being this dirty, grimy, bloody team that Lou was talking about to being glitz and glamour, flashing lights, la la, right? Because it hurt me. Like, I remember I was in San Francisco for the playoff game, and I went to Levi, and when I tell y'all, Levi Stadium has a football experience. Like, it was insane. And I was sitting there low-key mad and hating, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, why do they have all this? Why is their fan base get to stand up and cheer and go crazy all game, and I have to sit down? They had little kids walking out with the boom boxes with the players. They had the Jabberwockies. They had a live DJ like that was jamming. What's up, my dog Roman in the building? Charlotte Jones' fault. Possibly. When I tell you, they had this, so it'd be like George Kittle. Every time George Kittle gets a catch, the Stone Cold Steve Austin glass would break. It'd be dun 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 dun. I'm like, Stone Cold Steve Austin is a damn Cowboys fan, but why are y'all jamming his theme music after every Kittle catch? After every first down, it was like, that is another San Francisco 49ers first down. Who? I was like, God damn, this place is rocking. Like, it was insane. We are getting our ass kicked in the playoffs, but I ain't gonna lie, I was having a blast out there in San Fran. Parking lot full of everybody tailgating with all these flags. You're in Niners country. It was the most intimidating thing I ever had to walk through. I had to walk from the parking lot through the stadium parking lot, which they can tailgate in their stadium parking lot. Everybody had these massive flags. Bang, bang, Niners game. You're in Niners country. Everyone's blasting Too Short. You know what I'm saying? They're going crazy. And I had to just walk all through that. You know, that's the only way to get to the stadium is walk through all them Niners fans. You know what I'm saying? And I was by myself. You see what I'm saying? I was by myself, so I had to be on my best behavior. Oh, F the Cowboys. F, you know what I'm saying? F the Cowboys. I'm just like, hey, I'm out here solo dolo. You know what I'm saying? But my Mitchell and Ness was clean. The Mitchell and Ness was clean as, you know what I'm saying? But I'm solo dolo, Tuck. So, hey, I'm in Niners country. So I got to be on my best behavior because I'm solo dolo. You know, but it was intimidating as hell. You know? And I was like, that's a football environment. That's how it should feel going to games. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how it should feel going to games. It shouldn't be, oh man, I just want to go to Dallas and see what it's like and tour the state. Like, bro, like people are comfortable as hell. To show you guys how comfortable opponents are when they come to Dallas, for the Cowboys versus Packers game, West Coast had a meet and greet with Dallas Cowboys players. It was Wanye and, you know what I'm saying, all the players were there, right? Had a meet and greet. There was a bunch of Packers fans that attended the Dallas Cowboys meet and greet. There's a bunch of Packers fans there in the building that just pulled up to attend the Dallas Cowboys meet and greet. Comfortable. It's just comfortable. Oh, yeah, we traveled in from Wisconsin and we heard there was a meet and greet, so we decided to sign up and come. Just comfortable. Make yourself at home. And I'm just like, now I can imagine me going to Philly and be like, I'm going to pull up to the Philadelphia Eagles meet and greet party to meet some of the Eagles players. Like, hell no. And my Cowboys stuff. But they were just comfortable. Hey, it's here to have a good time in Dallas. Haven't got a chance to see the stadium. Heard it's amazing. Just want to come and check it out. It's indoors, so I know it's not going to be cold. So we decided to fly in for the game. And all game, all I heard was go, Pack, go. Go, Pack, go. From the moment the ball was kicked off, it was go, Pack, go. Right? Things need to change. We need to hashtag that, Lou. All right, let me find it. We need to hashtag that, Lou. That is going to be my motto for the rest of the year. Bloody rings. Bloody rings. I don't want no cute little ring championship where we had to get cute. If we're going to win a championship, we are going to have to become somebody we haven't been in a long time. And that's okay. That's okay, y'all. Right? Whenever you're pursuing a big goal in life, you're going to have to become somebody brand new. Right? Right now, I told you guys, I got fitness goals. You know, I'm even thinking about running a half marathon, right? I am going to have to become somebody I've never been before. Yeah, I can run 3 miles. Yeah, I can maybe get up to 4, but running 15 or something like that, I'm going to have to become somebody completely brand new in order to accomplish this goal. Right? If you want to get in shape, you might have to stop eating gummy bears. You might have to start working out at 4 a.m. You might have to do something you have never done before to become somebody brand new in order to accomplish a goal, if you set the goal high enough, right? And some people, what they'll do is they'll set goals kind of high, but comfortable enough where they don't have to change, right? So instead of saying, I'm going to lose 30 pounds where you have to become someone brand new, I'm going to just lose like 8. You know what I'm saying? That way I can get away. Like, you're looking to see what you can get away with versus not to see what you can really do, right? In order for the Cowboys to win a Super Bowl in the Dak era, they're going to have to become somebody they just never been. They're going to have to become somebody that they never been. Stop crying, Tug. Just playing, fam. You know how the haters be. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my dog Smoke. But you got to become somebody brand new. I want to become a Dallas Cowboys organization where people really hate you. Right? Because I feel like people hate us just because we're the Cowboys, but teams don't really hate the Cowboys. They just hate them because of the Cowboys, right? But back in the 90s, people really fucking hated the Cowboys. They were dirty, grimy, arrogant. Like, they hated us for real. I feel like now it's just like, oh, I can't stand the Cowboys. Why you can't stand the Cowboys? I don't know, because Stephen A. Smith told me I'm supposed to. Right? I want to become a team that is not really liked around the league. That, hey, man, I want to play Dallas, man. They dirty as hell. They are dirty as hell. Their offensive lineman was grabbing my face mask and punching me in the nuts and all sorts of stuff. And, you know, Dak is an asshole. He's arrogant. Like, can we get that? Can we get a little bit of that? Can we get a little bit of that? Because San Francisco, they had it, right? We didn't like playing San Francisco. They was tough, physical, left your body sore. You had to get in the cold tub after. Yeah, Lewis. They hate the Cowboys because people say, why do you hate the Cowboys? Because they're always on TV, right? That's not a football. I want to start giving teams football reasons to hate the Cowboys. Not because we got a Netflix series coming out, right? You know what I'm saying? This is why he calls a country club team. The league can see we haven't been about that bloody mouth football in a long time. Facts, DP. Facts. I'm trying to think of the last bloody ass game the Cowboys have won. And as I think, it was probably the Thursday night game versus the Saints. What's up, my dog Cuts in the building? What's going on with you, bro? I think the game versus the Saints, that Thursday night game, was the last bloody game that I've seen from the Cowboys that comes to memory, right? Because I remember DeMarcus Lawrence went out and said, that was if you cut him up, his head off or whatever, he said something about that, and that's when the Saints were rolling. The Saints were rolling. They were undefeated at the time. Remember, Dez had signed with the Saints, so he was supposed to be returning back to Dallas that week. And the Cowboys were just talking shit in the media all week. And I remember when Alvin Kamara got that catch or that run and Jalen Smith helmet-to-helmet collision and knocked him out the game. And it was like, so what? Those Saints fans were shook. Those Saints fans were shook, y'all. I remember I was in the building that game. because those Saints fans were in there. Who that said we gonna be like they was on top of everything. And then when Jalen Smith knocked out Alvin Kamara, I remember I turned to a bunch of Saints fans and said, y'all got us fucked up tonight. Y'all in trouble. And I just saw their faces. Oh, yeah. Y'all done fucked up. And I was already mad at them Saints fans because there was a bunch of Saints fans with Dez Bryant jerseys on. So that shit already set. Like, I was kind of cool because I took a shuttle from the hotel. And I remember getting on that shuttle. And I saw a bunch of Saints fans. And they had Dez Bryant 88 jerseys. And I was kind of cool on the game until I saw that. And I was like, nah, I want blood. I ain't tailgate. I ain't do nothing. I wanted heads to roll. You know what I'm saying? I wanted heads to roll because I saw a bunch of Saints fans walking around in Dez Bryant jerseys, and I was pissed. So I was on 10 from the moment I got to like at 1 o'clock for that Thursday night game. I ain't do no tailgating. I ain't do no nothing. I went inside the stadium and sat down because I was locked in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's football, y'all. That's football. I see y'all saying, 20, hold on, let me see, where's it? 2016 ran that game-winning touchdown. Yeah, so 2016, and the game I'm talking about is 2018. I can't think of no bloody wins that we've gotten since then. I can't think of any. Just a dirty, grimy, nasty game, but we just out physical the tough opponent and got the victory. I can't think of any other ones, y'all. Yeah, Zeke hit his head on the goalpost. That was crazy. Them days is gone. I don't remember a game where they actually got dirty or had a bloody nose. Last tough one I remember was when dude popped his knee out, popped it back in, went back to work. Yep. I don't know. Right? 23 Detroit wasn't bloody. That was more spectacular because we was whooping their ass. The problem was because that was a Jimmy Johnson game, right? That was the Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor game I was at. We just got to kill. We really should have put that game away. But remember, Mike McCarthy chose to pass to like CeeDee Lamb, and it kept the clock moving, gave him the ball back. Like, we were just doing stupid shit because we were just playing overconfident. But that wasn't a bloody game. It was a game that we really just was about to trick off. You know what I'm saying? So even though defense got the stops, I wouldn't say that one was a really bloody game because we were really beating the shit out the Lions that game. We were just being stupid. I want to stump the Saints this year because of that bandage they pulled last year. We don't play the Saints this year, bro. We don't play the Saints this year. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. Can't stand the Saints fans. Can't stand fans like Eagles fans are worse. They think they won the Super Bowl beating the Cowboys. Love 2009 game. Beating undefeated Saints was the best game Cowboys played. Yeah, Saints fans got this thing about them, right? It's like they feel like they belong, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Lord bless them. I feel like every sports fan feels like their team is that, but it's just like, I hate to cut it to you, little bro. If the Saints and Chargers are playing at noon, I'm not watching that shit. I'm live streaming with y'all. Or taking a nap. Taking a nap after church. Yeah, the Saints and Chargers are playing. I'm probably taking a nap after church. Oh, yeah, Camo. That was one. Though we lost it. Yeah, that was another game. Right, Dak's game after the injury, back from Tampa. Yeah, that was a dog fight. That was one of my favorite Cowboys games, right? And I always tell people, I remember being at that game, And I remember when the Cowboys came out the tunnel, because I was with Mike Tag, right? It just felt different, right? It wasn't, Dak normally comes out the tunnel and he does his little jump thing and all that. It was just militant. It was quiet. It wasn't a lot of, it was locked in, right? Yeah, and we still lost. I mean, it was a bogus pass interference call that was called, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was a game where they were locked in. That was a good game. That was a good hard fought battle game versus a good opponent, and they did get bloody, even though Kellen Moore abandoned the run. He abandoned the run. You know what I'm saying? He saw Villa and said, nah. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that was a good one. So yeah, probably like 3, right? This year, y'all, the way our schedule is set up. Hold on. Hold up. The way our schedule is set up, y'all, you're going to have to get bloody. You're going to have to get bloody. You're going to have to get bloody. You're going to have to mask up and get bloody, Captain Morgan, right? You can be cute, right? You can be cute. You're going to have to get it back in blood. You have to get it back in blood. You have to get it back in blood. You have to spin the block. Be a little cute. Be a little cute. Gonna have to get bloody. You have to get bloody. You ain't beat them since the 90s, bro. Last time you played them, they came into your home and dog walked you by halftime. Because y'all want to hang out the Canelo fight. You're going to have to get bloody to win this one, right? I don't know the last time you didn't beat them. They've always had your card. They've always had your card, right? We're going to be cute. We'll be fly. We're going to be fly. We'll be fly this one. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be super cute this one. Be cute, right? Blood. Look at this, y'all. You're not going to be able to be cute, kind, and cuddly. You're not going to be able to be cute, kind, and cuddly. You are going to have to mask up and get it in blood. You have no choice. This is survival. This is being tossed to the sharks and the NFL saying, I don't even think you can swim. You play on Sunday, turn around and play on Thursday, and then turn around and play another Thursday. And then they're still solid, right? Chargers, they're not the cute and cuddly Chargers that they used to be. And then on Christmas, right? So there is no way around it, right? That toughness, physicality, violent, bloody rings, you're going to have to go get it in blood. But this is that perfect opportunity. This is that perfect opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys to prove to the NFL they're not soft. Prove they're not soft. that's what I'm saying, Mo. That's what I'm saying, though. The NFL hates us, but see, the NFL tossed the Cowboys in this blender, and it's be like, yeah, right? Because they don't care if we win these, right? They just want ratings, right? But we remember what this team did to us last year. Hell, I think I even threw a touchdown that game. The Detroit Lions came out there and blatantly disrespected the Dallas Cowboys just because they could. And there was nothing we could do about it. Just disrespected them, right? When are you going to man up and say enough is enough? Enough is enough, right? Enough is enough. If there's any season where it's time to line up and say enough is enough, we can fight in our own weight class. We're not a team that can just beat up on the Giants, right? We might not even beat up on the Giants, right? Or the Bears. We might not even beat up on the Bears, right? But we're not a team that's mid-tier that can beat up on the Giants, the Bears, the Jets, the Panthers, split with Washington, maybe beat Denver, have a good game versus the Cardinals and the Raiders. Nope. I want to see who you are in these heavyweight bouts. Heavyweight bouts. And this is what I was saying the other day when dude called in about Dak being the MVP. Dak, you're my dog. You can't 0-3 this shit, bro. Let me go on solo cam. Dak, you my dog. Love you, bro. You're literally right here. This is rookie Dak running behind Travis Frederick, right? You're my dog, Dak. I support you tenfold. You can't 0-3 this shit, bro. You cannot. You can't 0-3 that shit. I don't care how bad your defense is. Play calling might be a little off. Who might be hurt? Right? You cannot 0-3 this shit right here. Well, Tuck, played good versus the Raiders. What about that game? He was outstanding versus the Cardinals. And, man, him and Jaden Daniels had a hell of a show, right? Got to. At least 2-1 it. Because we all know, I'm not sure y'all haven't looked, Cowboys Nation, this is the most expensive ticket on the damn market. Everybody and they mama will be at this game. Everybody and they mama is at this game. Everybody and they mama is there. Everybody and they mama will be huddled up around their TVs watching this game. How you feel if you eat 40 burger, all three of them, famo? Eat 40 burger, all them, bro. I'm talking my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking my shit. But this is a gauntlet. And that's just 3, right? You also got Minnesota. And we know what their defensive front does. And we know what Justin Jefferson, you know what I'm saying? And you got Amari Hampton coming to town, which I still might be at that game. I still might go to that game, actually. You know what I'm saying? I might go to that game. But yeah, you're going to have to prove you can fight in your own weight class. Says 1-3 feels like a Vegas push, sucks, but that's just where we at. I mean, because here's the thing, bro. If we don't get this one, let's say we got the slowest start and we don't get this one, you have You have to get this one. You have to get this one. You gotta get this one. At home? Right? Let's say we lose by a field goal week 1. Okay, cool story, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's on the road, tough battle, boom, 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 boom. You have to get this one because you have the chance to slide. Boom, boom, boom. This is a 4-game possible slide, right? Out of these 5, you got to come out at least 3-2. And that's assuming you do work up here, right? That's assuming you do work up here, right? So what am I getting at? Right, I'm not just doing a schedule breakdown. In order for the Dallas Cowboys to survive this gauntlet of the schedule, we are going to have to become somebody we just never been before in a long time. We are going to have to roll up our sleeves and get bloody. You're going to have to. You're going to have to roll up your sleeves, say enough is enough, right? No excuses, and find a way. And find a way. And find a way. Well, Micah, Mozzie, Sanborn, Murray, Fowler, and our other defensive line need to do their jobs. The offense will be straight. Yeah, hopefully. But even with that, bro, you can't 0-3, 0-4 this. You can't. Because if that is the case, I might, right? You know what I'm saying? I might retire. If this is the case and the Dallas Cowboys, win, we're going to have a different conversation next year. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to, right? They're gonna have to beat some killers. Exactly, Camo. Exactly. That stretch will tell us everything that we need to know, right? And honestly, I've been saying, hey, give me the week 6. All right, I've been saying, like, all right, let's see how things are at week 6. Actually, I need to boost that to maybe week 8. Right? Give it here, and then we'll see what we really about. Because I feel like we can out-talent our way. We can out-talent our way through some of these, right? We can talent our way. We can out-talent our way through some of these. But I really want to see who we are once we start getting on death row. Right? Got to be able to run the team, run the ball. You can't sit back and drop 45 passes, 41 passes, no run game, and can't stop the run with these 4 teams. You see what I'm saying? Yep. Yes, Smoke. 4 got to come out with these, right? 4. If 4 does 0-4 or 0-3 in this stretch, I don't know, y'all. It's gonna be a tough argument, and them trolls are gonna come out heavy. And we can't say, well, it's a new offense. Nope, can't say that. We can't say, oh, he doesn't have the weapon, unless like it's something crazy like CD and Pickens. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had to be something crazy. But if he's healthy and we have Pickens and CD and, you know, our offensive line is still intact, you got to come out with some of these. These are the patches that Dak needs on his jacket. Really not this one, you know, but this one for damn sure. This one for damn sure. This one is just a sign of respect after how they just disrespected you last year. Right? So, yeah. Let's see here. Jay Tuck, the post CFT posted about Dak stats, bro. He threw the ball at average 35 times in all playoff games. Fact, no need for that at all. These running backs we have, for real. We'll hope and see. You know, but honestly, when it comes to Dak's passing that much, right, I think, one, San Francisco, they bailed on the run game. That was Kellen Moore. You know, also versus Tampa, bailed on it. Green Bay, we had no choice because it was a landslide. So there's certain things that kind of went into it. But yeah, I agree, right? Dropping back, throwing the ball 40 plus times, it just doesn't work in our favor, right? I want it to be where we are having the arguments where people are saying Dak got carried. I want those arguments back. I want the, oh, well, he got carried by the run game. I want those arguments back. Oh, he wasn't even making any deep throws. He was just throwing click slants to George Pickens and see. I want those arguments back. If Dak has to play the hero ball game, y'all, as much as I like Dak, I just don't think that's him. Where he can do it consistently for 4 to 5 games, right? I don't think that Dak is the guy. I don't think there's a lot of quarterbacks that's the guy that can hero ball their way through this gauntlet, right? If he has to hero ball his way through this gauntlet, y'all, I just don't see it happening. Fat Camo. Taxidermy mounts on the wall. KC, Detroit Eagles. Right there. Boom on the wall. Right? Then we'll see. Then we'll start talking about playoffs. I don't want to hear shit from any content creator, any media member, anybody talking about playoffs or a damn Super Bowl until we get through these 4 games. If I hear a content creator saying, hey, look at the Dallas Cowboys record where we currently stand. Right now, we're in playoff contention. When we're right here, I'm a bomb on them. I'm a bomb on their ass. I don't give a damn who it is. I better not hear shit out of nobody's mouth about no playoff contention, no Super Bowl, no, hey, this team is really turning around. Hey, Brian Schottenheimer's offense is humming. I don't want to hear a damn thing until we come out these heavyweight bouts. Well, but if you look at the EPA, well, if you look at our offense efficiency, well, if you look at where our run game is going, I don't want to hear shit. Not a damn thing until we come out this gauntlet. Now, if we run through this gauntlet, okay, yeah, we can talk about it. We talk about playoffs. We talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, right? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because it's fake, it's false, it's phony. Honestly, see the first 3 games, Dallas is being slept on. Well, Vegas only has the Cowboys favored in this game here. This is the only game we favored. This is the only game we favored. That's it. Every other game, Vegas has us as the underdogs. Right? Chicago were the underdogs. Green Bay underdogs. The Jets not favored it. Panthers, I don't think we're favored as of now. Commanders, no. Broncos, no. Arizona, no. Vegas, no. Yeah, so the Giants was the only game currently Vegas has us favored to win, which is crazy. Tuck, what was our score versus KC? And KC, when CD got hurt, could not play. The defense didn't do that bad that day. Yeah, I mean, that game was so boring, bro. It was literally just Chris Jones. It was just literally like, all I remember from that game was just like CD went down. We had no Amari Cooper. You know, defense played well, but Chris Jones just wrecked it. And I remember there was a fire at Arrowhead Stadium, so I didn't get home till like 2 o'clock in the morning because of all the backed up traffic, right? So that's just is what it is. But hey, appreciate y'all for tuning in with me. I didn't mean to go this long, but shit, I was just cooking, man, vibing with the community. Like I said, y'all, tomorrow we'll be back for cover 3. We'll be back for cover 3 with my brothers. We'll lock in some cover 3. And then Wednesday, we might do the Super Bowl thing. I'm gonna see if there's a way I can go about it without getting clicks. I don't want them to try to take my channel or some shit, but we'll find a way to go about it. And then next week I will be Caboing with the wife, man. I'll be in Cabo for a whole week. I didn't even know I was gonna be gone that long. I didn't know I was gonna be gone that long until I looked today on our flight. I'm like, damn, we're going for 8 days, right? So I'm be going in Cabo. So of course I'll do some content out there, but nothing too crazy. You know, I'll pop up on my phone and go live with y'all. But I'm going to be on the beach getting some much needed R&R as we gear up for camp, because we got a lot of big things in store. Talked to Dez the other day, man. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, the amount of stuff that we got planned for this upcoming season, and I'm excited about it. So we're about to go hard, so I'm definitely going to get some rest, man. So appreciate you all, man, for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the content, share the content. Appreciate all the support. Like I said, we can continue to rock. Salute to all the members out there. Yeah, and just keep rocking, man. We'll get to everything. We'll get to the film. We'll get to camp. We'll get to all that fun stuff. But as of right now, it's just keeping your head on a swivel and gearing up for this NFL season, man. So I appreciate you all. Want everyone to stay safe, stay blessed, stay encouraged. And listen, y'all, it's time for the Dallas Cowboys to mask up and get bloody for real.